Yo, what's good, man? This is NBS Central, the NBS show, man. I'm back here again, man. Once again, shout out to everybody that was able to tune into Battle Political. So shout out to them. Shout out to the whole NBS team, Just and Truex. Those guys are not feeling too good right now, so hopefully, they get fully recovered. So shout out to them. But with that being said, man, this is the NBS Show Episode 111, and right next to me I got Rise Up's own. I'll let him introduce himself.
You know what it is. It's the fire starter, man. Andre the Torch Robinson. I'm just humble and happy to be here. Definitely can't wait to talk some sports with my guy right here.
Yeah, man. So we got a lot to discuss about, man. So we're gonna talk some college football. College football is actually kicking off this week. So for some actual football to start, man. So the college football season kicks off this week. I'll be dropping the predictions, from everybody from the NBS team, but we're gonna do some couple predictions also on the show today. So when we talk about college football, um this college football season, what are really quick before we go to our prediction, what are a couple of things that you are looking forward for this college football season?
First and foremost, I'm looking for another SEC team to step up to Alabama. I'm looking for it again. I mean, the last team to do it was LSU when Joe Burrow was around. You know how that went. Justin Jefferson and them boys, Jamar Chase and all of them was eating up the college football world. It was good to see the Bayou Tigers, the LSU Death Valley Tigers getting it in and putting in work. Beating those Alabama Crimson Tide. But, Alabama is the standard. So I'm looking first and foremost to see what team in the SEC is going to come out and punch Alabama in the mouth. And then number two, secondly, I'm looking to see how this is going to look as far as Oklahoma. I'm looking at teams like Oklahoma and Texas. I want to know what their focus is going to be, especially with all the news that we've heard as far as them moving from their conference to the SEC conference. I want to know, are they going to be focused still on winning football games? Is that in the third, or are they just going to be the team that, makes it to a bowl and we're just happy with that, whatever the case may be, until it gets to the SEC. So I'm looking at that too. I'm looking at what teams are going to do with these players that they've lost. What teams is going to step up? Like Ohio State obviously lost Justin Fields. I want to see what Ohio State's going to do. I want to see, is there anybody who can punch Ohio State in the mouth this year? That's over there. Can Penn State do something? Is Michigan State going to be back on the map? Like, questions like that. Michigan, teams like that. I'm looking to see what happens with that. I'm also looking for a resurgency in the Pac-12. What happened to the Pac-12? It seemed like ever since Marcus Mariota and them left, the Pac-12 has been just absolutely abysmal. Like, what's going on? I know y'all don't play no defense over there, but good God almighty. Like, come on, give me a break. I would like to see, Pac-12 do something.
So yeah, but as far as what I look forward to this season, especially with the players about to get paid and their endorsements, I'm looking forward to see how these players step up, man. How hungry these players are. So that's one thing that I am looking forward to see. And obviously, like you said, who steps up to who's gonna step up to Alabama, man? Alabama did lose a lot, but I'm curious to see who's gonna step up to these guys, because they always reload every single year, man, when it comes to Alabama, man. So I'm curious to see how this goes. Even in the ACC, if anybody could step up to Clemson, also no. They lost Trevor Lawrence, so that's huge. Travis Etienne out of there. They lost some defensive players also, so that's going to be really interesting. All right, so when it comes to the playoffs, your four teams that you have to pick to make the playoffs, who is that for?
This is a tough one. This is kind of tough because you just never know with the committee, man. The committee is so lackadaisical, lackluster sometimes with picks. I mean, there's times where maybe TCU, Boise State should have been in with this college playoff, but obviously didn't make it because of the division they're in. Like, it's their fault that they're in that division. But I'm going to have to say you would have to go with Power 5 schools, obviously. Some Power 5 schools. Alabama might be one of them. Oklahoma might be another one. Ohio State. Wow. Usually it's like two SEC teams, so I'll have to think of another SEC team. Trask left Florida, so, I mean, can Florida be in there? Can Florida get there? Is LSU ready? Again, they lost a lot in the last two seasons. Texas A&M, could they be on their way? They lost their quarterback in Namo, so, I mean, usually if you have a really good quarterback, I mean, or a good offensive player, usually it leads or paves the way to certain things. Like, I can't wait till we get to our dark horse conversation, but I'll say those teams. I'm not for certain on all the rest of them yet.
When it comes to the teams, okay, hold on, give me a second. Somebody's gonna be with us shortly. But when it comes to the teams that I do have on, I kind of look at the same way you do, man. I see Oklahoma in there. Definitely see I see Oklahoma in there. I think Clemson will be in there. I think Alabama will be back. Um, Ohio State definitely. Hold on. Let me look at these comments really quick. LSU will be better than last year. Not sure about the playoffs. Hopefully they'll surprise us as an LSU fan. I'm saying Georgia isn't a joke. Yeah, Georgia, they got everything set for them this year, man. So hopefully Georgia get it together.
Georgia is not a joke, but they're a choke when it comes to big games.
Okay, I do have the sports block on here. Do we have the sports block on here? Can you hear us? Okay, I guess not. Okay, so like I said, when it comes to when when it comes to when it comes to Ohio State, like a team like Ohio State, the Ryan Day's still there. They got a quarterback that's replacing Justin Fields by the name of CJ Stroud. I think it's gonna be different though. I mean, I think he's gonna definitely be stepping up. Chris Olave, he's one of the top receivers in the nation, along with Master Teague, the running back from Ohio State. So obviously, this team is definitely loaded. I don't know if anybody in the Big Ten can compete against this team right now. You have your Michigans in there, but they have yet to be able to compete against Ohio State since Jim Harbaugh landed in Michigan.
Mr. Khaki Pants.
And then Now, then my other team that I do have is Oklahoma. Oklahoma, I think is a little bit tricky though. Everybody loves Spencer Rattler right now. A lot of people have him winning the Heisman, man. A lot of people really like this guy. And I can't argue that when you look at the past quarterbacks that's been able to pull it off outside of Jalen Hurts, who was a Heisman finalist. You had Baker Mayfield, who definitely showed out, won the Heisman. You had Kyler Murray, showed out, won the Heisman. So I can see why people are rolling on the side of Spencer Rattler. And I definitely understand that. And I like the weapons over there. I like the system that Lincoln Riley runs. I think a lot of people say Texas every single year, man. I don't know, man. Texas just tends to disappoint you every single year, man. And then on top of that, you can't win the Big 12, but you want to go play in the SEC. I don't know. That just does not make any sense to me.
Well, no offense to anybody who's a Texas resident, but everything ain't bigger in Texas.
Yeah. And then Clemson, I think Clemson is probably a team that always reload every single year. DJ Ugalele is one of probably the best out there right now. And then when you also look at a team, so we have Oklahoma, Ohio State, Clemson, and then Alabama. Everybody's talking about their new quarterback, Bryce Young. We're gonna see what this guy could do, man. I definitely do like to see me some Bryce Young, man. What Nick Saban brings out when it comes to these quarterbacks. So I'm really curious and interested what actually happens, how Bryce Young does. All right. So, with that being said, those are the four teams that I got making it to the playoffs. So, who's going to the national championship and who wins it?
Is Nick still coaching? Is wilding out Nick? I ain't talking about Nick Cannon, but the other wilding out Nick, the one that go 8, the one that brings the Crimson Tide. Is he still coaching?
Yeah, he is.
Then it's Alabama. It's
Oh,
Alabama.
wow.
It's Alabama.
And who's playing them?
You know what? I would love to see even an ACC team step up, man. What's happened to some of these conferences, man? I used to love it when Florida State was so dope. Miami was dope. Well, Notre Dame played them. You know what happened with that. You know what happened. Man. What team will play Alabama this year? Have we ever had two SEC teams play each other?
It can be possible. It just depends how they seed up the teams in the playoffs. So, it's possible.
I'll go with Florida. You know what? I'll go with Florida. I hope Florida makes a resurgence. Whether it's Florida, Florida State, any of those teams. I know Florida State probably not going to do it. They're not hitting, but either Florida or Ohio State. Ohio State. That would be nice.
Okay. I got Oklahoma making it to the national title game. I got Oklahoma, and I'm going with Alabama, man. I think Alabama, despite everybody that they've been missing, that's gone from that team, I still think that Saban's still there, like you said, and I think they're still going to be a solid team. Shout out to our MBS member, the Sports Junkie. He actually has Clemson and Oklahoma, but and I got Alabama and Oklahoma, man. All right, last but not least, man, you got some great Heisman finalists out there. A lot of people say Bryce Young. You got DJ Ugalele. You got Spencer Rattler. Who's gonna win the Heisman, man? Like who's gonna win the Heisman this year? You're on mute. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Are we making dark horse picks or are we just picking?
Just who you think's gonna win the Heisman? You know,
I'm gonna be honest.
I see
I'll
some
be honest with
Spencer
you.
Rattlers.
Yeah, Spencer Rattler is nice. Obviously, he's the concisest or consensus pick. But if I had to pick a dark horse, I gotta go with players like Matt Corral from like Ole Miss, or maybe a Jalen or a Jaden Daniels from Arizona State, or maybe even Jeff Sims from the Yellow Jackets. Maybe.
All right. I don't know if you could hear me, but we have the sports block in the building right now. What's going on?
Sports block is blocking his volume.
Can the sports block hear us right now? We can't hear you. We hear you.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, man? This is a good friend of the Nbs brand, man. Shout out to homie Marlon, one half of the sports block. It's been a while, man. How you been?
I'm good, man. You know, just working this retirement. You know, just working to get this retirement in.
All right, so we're gonna catch you up to speed from what you missed right now. So, so your 4 teams that you got making to the playoffs in college football this year, who you got?
Top to bottom or bottom to top, don't matter.
Yeah, any order.
Top 4 teams right now, preseason. Going with Ohio State, Georgia. Not because I'm, a homer, but Georgia, I think they will be there, just to be transparent about that.
Oh, you from okay.
Hey, I just had to put it out there, I had to put it out there.
I've been putting it out there for a while. I'm just wondering what's going on.
If I was from Ohio, I would have said Ohio State.
Hey, Marlon. Hey, Marlon. True X of Sports Junkie, he is in the comments right now. He commented and says, I bet he has Georgia, Mr. Bias.
Well, you can tell Sports Junkie, I would put his team in there, but I am very much unsure about his quarterback. So until they rectify that,
Whoa! Wait a minute! What's your name, sir? I'm sorry. No, I didn't hear your name. I didn't get your name.
This is Marlon.
Marlon.
Yeah.
Marlon.
Yeah. What's good,
Marlon? I'm just wondering. Are you one of the Wayans brothers right now? You got a lot of comedy going on. You unsure about some things.
Well, my name not spelled that way. My name is not spelled the common way. So
it's not spelled the common way, but it's real common.
The common way. It's common, but it's not
common.
Spelled the common way.
There's some other things in Georgia that's common too.
So let me give you my other teams before I get back to you here in a second. So we got Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, and somehow I think Oklahoma's going to be around there.
All right. So with that being said, who's going to the national title game and who's winning it?
Well, we know. I already said which wilding out Nick. I mean, we ain't talking about Nick Cannon. So is he still coaching? I'm just wondering.
Most people are going to probably predict. Another Alabama-Clemson matchup, but Clemson, I got some question marks about them as well, quarterback-wise. I don't know if this guy, can do what Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson did long-term. So that's why I wouldn't put them there. So right now, Although it hurts me, I'd put Alabama in there and, maybe Ohio State or Oklahoma.
Okay. And who's gonna be the national champions of 2021, 2022?
Well, I'll go against, what I usually do. But you know what? No, screw that. You know what? Screw that. Keo, you know me.
So who you got?
If we had an Alabama Ohio State matchup, I think I'd take Ohio State right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Like I said earlier, man, I like what Ryan Day's doing over there. I think CJ Stroud's gonna do great. They got Master T, Chris Olave's returning, so I think Ohio State. I think they're gonna be looking pretty good this year, man. So I like what I see over there. All right, so that actually sums up our college football predictions. So with that being said, we are gonna move on over to the NFL, man. So in the NFL, this past week or a couple of days ago, whenever it was, they came out with the preseason power rankings, man. So coming at number 5 is the LA Rams, 4 Green Bay Packers, 3 Buffalo Bills, number 2 the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and number 1 the Kansas City Chiefs. So with that being said, did ESPN get these power rankings right? Let's start off with Dre. What you thought about this power rankings?
Well, obviously they got the first 4 right because obviously the first 4 was in the AFC NFC championship games. So they got the first 4 right, obviously. We know the 2 that won, they got them 1 and 2. Went to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs, Buccaneers, Bills, Packers, Rams. I'm not upset about it. I think the Rams got a better quarterback. The quarterback position is super important, obviously. Matthew Stafford being with the Rams will benefit the Rams, I think, more than Jared Goff did. So I can see the Rams being where they are on the list. Obviously, the Packers and Bills, I've been saying this for a while. I think they're very synonymous to each other. They have some of the same issues, which is the reason why they didn't make the Super Bowl as far as defensive line, getting pressure from the defensive line position, cornerback position, kind of lackluster after Trey White or after Jari Alexander. Their secondary is kind of lackluster. So they have the same issues for the most part. The Bills have issues as far as running game is concerned. So I could see why the Bills would be number 3 and didn't move up the list. You can swap the Bills or Packers either way. I'm okay with the list 1 through 5. I won't even talk about the other 2 teams because we already know.
All right, Marlon. What did they get it right? What you think about this? The Power 5.
Well, this initial ranking, I can't complain about it. That's a pretty solid list. I share in his sentiments, and the Packers do have some issues defensively that they have to get over the hump. If they don't get over the hump, of course it's gonna all roll downhill, and we're gonna all look at Aaron Rodgers crazy again. I think the only reason why the Bucs are at number 2 is because they returned everybody. That's very rare in modern day of free agency for a team to return all players from the previous season, which was a championship season. The Bills, yes, they do need to run the ball better. They have to, they must, because Stephon Diggs, he's going to see a lot more exotic coverages this year. He'll still get open and he'll get his numbers, but, there's a whole year of tape on what the Bills did successfully that teams will try to capitalize off of this year. In reference to the Rams, I do like Matt Stafford being there. I think he's a better trigger man than Jared Goff was. Also, I like them picking up Sony Michel in this recent trade. I think his skill set very much fits what the Rams do on offense, and I hope that he can, regain, some of that ability he showed, earlier in his rookie season. And I think he'll definitely be a bigger factor being a Ram vice being a Patriot. The Chiefs, of course, they did what most teams should do but don't do. They say our trenches are weak offensively. Let's work on that. Let's fix that. Let's bring in some big bodies to solidify that, because we have a $400-500 million quarterback and we have to protect him. And they have all their weapons still there with Travis Kelce, the Cheetah, Nicole Hardman, Robinson, and I think they have to run the ball, though, because Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's looking to be a little bit injury-prone thus far in his career, and he's going to have to try to beat that injury bug for them to, have a successful run game, because I think that hurt the Chiefs down the stretch last year is they couldn't consistently run the ball the way they wanted to, and had they been able to do that in the Super Bowl, even with a hampered, Patrick Mahomes, I think they could have made it a better game, whether they won or lost. I think it would have been a better game. But all in all, I see this top five being pretty good. The positions that they have everybody in, it don't really matter to me, because, at least three of these teams are going to be in the mix at the end anyways.
All right, really quick. Let's go to these comments, because I'm trying to get a grip of this. Shout out to Q from the Nbs team. He says Rams at 5. That's some BS.
Yeah, I see. Sports Junkie, he's a little bit upset.
The Rams are nice, bro. Here's from the Sports Junkie again. He said, y'all know where Stafford and Stoney played in college. Of course, Marlins co-signing those moves.
Sports Junkie Matt Stafford's a sorry quarterback.
He said, drug test this man ASAP.
He better hope his man's Joe Burrow can stay healthy.
So he a Cincinnati Bengals fan?
No, True X. He's a Saints fan. He's a diehard Louisiana. He's a Pelicans fan.
Okay.
But Joe Burrow was his LSU quarterback.
Was his quarterback in LSU? Yeah, I get
and
you.
his man's Jamar Chase need to work on them hands, because he not looking so good right now.
Wow.
Yeah. Hold on. Should they have took Penei Sue? Should they have took Sue? I think they should have took Sue.
I can agree with that. I think they would have been better taking the big man.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Damian Freeman, shout out to him. He said Chiefs, Bills, Rams, Packers, Bucks. I thought the Packers were better than the Bucks. I felt the same this year, regardless of playoff.
They were. Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions.
They were.
The Bucks defense saved them.
Marlon, I want to thank you for saying that. Thank you. Because just off that comment alone tells me that you think outside the box. Because there are so many people who tried to give me this BS crap about Tom Brady was so magnificent, even in the papers. He was so magnificent. He just so wasn't. But besides the fact that the defense being a top 6 defense last year, I keep telling folks, just because you give up turnovers, when you have a top 6 defense, you can get away with turnovers because your defense is going to get you the ball back. For those who keep saying, Aaron Rodgers got 3 turnovers off of Tom Brady, you would have thought that they would have won, right? those turnovers were in his own territory. None of those turnovers that the Packers got were in Tampa Bay territory, which means they still had to drive the whole length of the field to score without Aaron Jones running the football. Okay? I want people to understand this. Two things resonate in playoffs: defense and running game. That's the reason why the Buccaneers won last year, was because of defense and their running game.
Okay. All right.
So I see Sports Junkie says that they returned their entire defense. Yes, they did. But what is the one thing we've learned in sports? Championships breed complacency in players. It absolutely does. Players get new money, they get lazy. Period.
All right. So, all right.
Love it.
Okay.
You're right about that.
As far as these Power 5 rankings go, I have no problem.
And Brady is coming off an injury too, Damian Freeman. Thank you for pointing that out. He's a year older and he's coming off an injury.
Yeah, so Power 5 rankings, I have no problem with that. I like the Rams at 5. Q, you're tripping right now, man. Matthew Stafford is an upgrade when it compared to Jared Goff. I feel like
What?
Yeah, I do think
he's questioning that. Like, that is an upgrade.
I think it's an upgrade, though. I think
imagine if the Rams had Matthew Stafford in the Super Bowl versus the Patriots.
Okay, to be very honest,
I think it would have been a different result.
Yeah.
So why is the Rams ranked at 5 right now? I feel like the only reason they ranked the Rams at 5 is because of the acquisition of Matthew Stafford. If we had Jared Goff as a starting quarterback for the LA Rams, the Rams for sure as hell won't be ranked at no damn 5. I would put if Goff was on that team right now, I would put the Cleveland Browns at number 5.
9-99.
I got one. No. I got one even better. You know who would be at number 5 in their own conference? Dallas would. Dallas would be number 5, or Seattle would be number 5.
No, I would take Cleveland. Cleveland's defense. I agree with X. That defense is nasty. But like I said, man, as far as the Power 5, I got no problem with that, man. Like, I feel like it's they got it right. ESPN got it right. All right. So let's move on over to our very next topic, and we're gonna talk about Dark Horse Heisman, man. If you have to pick between these 3 players when it comes to Dark Horse Heisman, who would it be? Would it be Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, or Kyler Murray?
You mean Dark Horse MVP?
I mean, yeah, my bad.
I'm like, when did they change the award?
Dark Horse MVP. All right, thanks.
You taking it, Sports Junk? I mean, you taking it?
I'll take it. I think right now at this point, he's probably got the best leg to win MVP out of those 3 right now. I'd have Herbert probably a close second. Kyler Murray, he's got to show me a little bit more. Like, he's very mobile, but their offense gets kind of discombobulated sometimes, and Cliff Kingsbury, he's got to figure out what to do. Sports Junkie, I probably would have put Jameis on there, but we still got to see if Jameis is going to be a starter, because right now it looks like Sean Payton is going to die on that hill with Taysom Hill. But I would take Stafford probably right now as the favorite out of those 3 guys to win MVP.
All right, Dre, how you got this?
Keo, don't choke. First and foremost, do not choke. Please don't joke. That you lead that for Georgia, the Bulldogs, and all the rest of them.
Wow.
Okay, my bad.
Hey, just to let you know.
I apologize.
So who's the better quarterback of those three guys? First of all, like
As long as I ain't picking, wait a minute. As long as I ain't picking the one from Georgia, we good. Whichever one is from Georgia, no. All right, I'm gonna stop messing with y'all. First of all, it all depends on division. So obviously, whoever wins the division, when you look at MVPs, usually the MVP has won the division, has stats to match, and usually has somewhat of a background. One or two seed usually has a pretty good foundation and background. I do not see Justin Herbert doing it, even though he is a remarkable talent. First year, rookie of the year, 4,000-yard passer of the ball with Keenan Allen as his number one. Kudos to him, but I don't see it being him. Kyler Murray, phenomenal passer of the football. You know what he can do. I think he's going to be really, really good in the future. But the Arizona Cardinals, I do not see winning their division. I mean, playing in the NFC West is no joke. And to be honest with you, Seattle won the division last year. I could see the Rams winning it this year. And it's the reason why the Rams are number 5 because of who the quarterback is, and Matthew Stafford being a guy who's thrown the ball for 4,000 or 5,000 yards multiple times. Even when Calvin Johnson it wasn't around. And I mean, who was his receivers? We always talk about who's the weapons on these teams. Who's his receivers? Who's his running backs? Right. Who's his running backs? Who does he have that when he goes to fake and play action to a running back that the defense would get scared of off the play action? Not much. I haven't seen much.
Riddick, Kevin Jones, the guys like that playing running back.
Javid Best.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry. They even had a USC's own Reggie Bush at one point.
Yes, Reggie was actually decent in that offense. I'll give him a little credit. He was decent in that offense.
Yeah, he was probably the most decent in the last couple years. I mean, when was the last time Detroit had a 1,000-yard rusher? I mean, look at it. I'm gonna go with Matthew Stafford because I mean the weapons in LA. I mean Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp. Too bad Cam Akers went down. Cam Akers was up and coming. Florida State running back definitely was up and coming. But we'll see. I mean, again,
I hope Sony Michel can do his thing.
Now you got Sony Michel, who's a dual running back who can catch out the backfield and run. We'll see.
These guys so disrespectful in the chat. Stafford will never be MVP.
So we're not saying he's gonna be MVP. We're saying
possibly
a dark horse MVP. Obviously, you got your Aaron Rodgers, your Tom Brady's out there in this world. So obviously, and Mahomes. So I can't forget about him also. But as far as dark horse MVP, clearly, man, like I said in the previous topic, is Matthew Stafford, man. You look at the team that he's in, both sides of the ball, with the defense, the front seven led by Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, and then you on the offensive side, you also have with Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, and then they added Deshaun Jackson as a deep threat also. And Darrell Henderson, he ain't no scrub. He's a decent running back. They drafted him for a reason. And then obviously, just in case something does happen to Darrell Henderson, they got somebody like a Sony Michel.
Didn't Darrell Henderson injure his thumb? I believe he injured his thumb a couple of days ago. That's probably what prompted them to, make that move for Sony Michel.
Yeah, and I just think Stafford puts himself in the best position right now to be a dark horse MVP, because I think out of their teams, I think this Rams team could go further than the Cardinals and the Chargers. And the Chargers, they just got a tough hill to climb when you got to deal with somebody like the Kansas City Chiefs. So dark horse Heisman right there. And with that being said, let's go through some quick comments. I guess they said since we talking dumb, Jimmy G as a dark horse. We got Chuck Thomas.
So let me stop everyone. First of all, stop calling him Jimmy G. He hasn't done enough to earn a nickname yet. His name is Jimmy Garoppolo. People are too quick to give these guys nicknames. He hasn't done enough to get a nickname. He's largely injury prone in his career. He's a byproduct of that 49er defense and run game. Is he the worst quarterback? No, he's not. But he's not the top tier. He's right in the middle. He's in the middle of the pack. That's why I rate Jimmy Garoppolo. His name is Jimmy Garoppolo, not Jimmy G.
Or you could call him porn star Jimmy. Ooh.
Wow, really? Really, porn star Jimmy? All you need is the music. But Marlon, all he had was one job. All he had to do was hit the one throw.
Emmanuel Sanders was butt naked open, and he missed him.
One job, sir. You don't make that many elite throws. All you had to do was make one. And he missed it.
I know Matthew Stafford would have made that throw.
Oh, of course.
All right, guys. Let's go to our next topic for tonight. And so we got, a couple quarterbacks. That's quarterback competitions. They already announced who the starters are. The Denver Broncos announced that Teddy Bridgewater will be the starter for the Denver Broncos. The New England Patriots announced that Mac Jones will be the starter for Week 1. And then last but not least, like he said himself, it's his time now. Andy Dalton was announced the starter for Week 1. So, which one of these announcements surprised you the most?
I think the Denver one surprises me the most right now because we know who Teddy Bridgewater is. He's largely a check down king. You have weapons like, Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton. Like, you have weapons and you need to stretch the field. And I believe that Drew Lock, his arm talent, gives them the best opportunity to stretch the field. And I just think that, the coach made a bad decision on this one because once he sees that offense start going stagnant and seeing that, Teddy can't stretch the field, which we know he can't, then it's just going to be back to square one, and he's going to end up having to play Drew Lock anyway. Plus, Teddy has been, pretty injury prone in the last few years, although, he didn't really get beat up too much in New Orleans, but, we all know about his knee injury, which was pretty severe that he suffered. But I would have went with Drew Lock. He's a little bit younger and just has more upside as far as arm talent, to get that team over the hump.
Go ahead, Dre.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say on a scale of 1 to 10 on the asshole meter, Drew Lock is a sure lock as a 15 on the asshole meter from 1 to 10. Just complete dumpster juice. Of course he got upside. Because he's garbage. Of course, he better ask him upside. He got the most upside probably almost in the NFL with his trash self. He is just terrible. I just don't understand. John Elway cannot draft quarterbacks or pick quarterbacks to save his life, being one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL history. Please tell me how you make that make sense. No, Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater. We know what Teddy Bridgewater is, and that is so hilarious that you called him Captain Checkdown. He called him Captain Checkdown. That's what he do, huh? He's Tyrod Taylor.
More than 15 yards down the field.
He's Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor.
He may be almost the worst version of Tyrod Taylor.
Right. Mac Jones, obviously. Yo, listen, I just had a conversation on another group page about Mac Jones. I've been saying this for a while. I thought Mac Jones was going to get the starting job just for the fact of Cam Newton's constant inefficiencies. Man, so many inefficiencies with Cam Newton. I'm so disappointed with Cam Newton. I think if he put more time and effort into his game, he could actually be constantly or
on Cam Newton.
He could be consistently a really good quarterback, but because he doesn't, to me, because he hasn't elevated his game, I'm not surprised about Mac Jones. So, I mean, the last one is the red BB gun, I meant the red BB gun. He ain't the red rifle. He's the red BB gun. He's that Christmas Story BB gun, the one that he was like, you'll shoot your eye out. Yeah, that guy. That's Andy Dalton, and I just don't understand how he's over Justin Fields. I can understand in the way business sense. If you go to Justin Fields and he's terrible, how can you go back to him if you go to Andy Dalton? So they're going to start Andy Dalton instead of starting Justin Fields, but I think Justin Fields is talented enough, and I think he's going to be really good down the line as a quarterback. We all know about Ohio State quarterbacks. I think this Ohio State quarterback will be the difference, though. So Dalton, I'm surprised.
I think the one that surprised me is with the Mac Jones one. I think if there was if you told me what rookie quarterback would not be starting, I would have said it wouldn't be Mac Jones. So I was definitely surprised. I thought Cam was going to get another chance. Obviously, they re-signed him for a reason, especially the collapse and failure that he had. So I thought it was going to be Mac Jones, but obviously not.
Shout out to Quentin. Shout out to Quentin for mentioning Mac Jones. You know, his wet days. You know, when he goes to the bar.
Wow.
Shout out to Quentin, because they do a lot of boozing in the Boston area. So that is a valid point. I hope Mac Jones can stay away from the bars, because they do a lot of drinking up north.
Hey, Mac Jones, whatever you do, stay away from Johnny Manziel, because he likes booze also. All right.
Booze.
All right, let's go to our very last one. We're going to still talk about quarterbacks. So there are two competitions still left when it comes to the quarterback position. That's the New Orleans Saints and the San Francisco 49ers. So who would you guys think the starter is going to be for this one? And are we going with from the Saints? Are we going with Jameis Winston? And then on the Niners, is it going to be a new era, Trey area, or are we still sticking with Jimmy Garoppolo?
Sports block. Right. I got this one. Sports block. I promise you.
All right.
I got you. Listen, we got to put a block. Okay, let's put a sports block on this Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston talk right now. Let's put a block on it.
Where you at? I know you tuned again.
Shameless plug. Listen, my God. Put a block on it. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, Jameis Winston could have been the defensive player of the year 2 seasons ago with them 30 that 30 for 30 ESPN special that he gave. Yeah, he could have been defensive player of the year. Taysom Hill, come on, man. We know Taysom Hill is a gadget quarterback. Why are we really? We're going to have a quarterback competition with either the guy who licks his fingers and crab legs and all that, or the guy who's the gadget quarterback. Use them both and use them sparingly. I tell you why. You keep Jameis Winston from throwing 30 interceptions by using Taysom Hill sparingly, in which allows the Saints to continue to have drives going down the field, especially if you're going to lose a guy like Michael Thomas, who might not be a Saint in the next couple of weeks. If you're going to do that, it would behoove them to use both instead of going with one. Because if you go with Jameis Winston, I got a feeling Jameis Winston's going to force the football. You're going to be turnover prone. It's already bad enough the Saints are looking like the team who might be last in this division. Who might catch a whole lot of flack. They might be putting them paper bags back on their heads again. again.
Wow.
And shout out to my guy Dalton Smith. I love you to death, bro. But listen, your organization got to get it together. Sean Payton lately has been very suspect when it comes down to managing games and the management of this team. I'm going to say, please do not have a quarterback competition. Let them both play. As far as the other one, Trey Lance is young. Let him sit. Let him watch. Let him watch Jimmy G. Jimmy Garoppolo, because he doesn't deserve any nicknames. Let Jimmy Garoppolo go ahead and do what he's going to do.
All right. So the football guy in me says that the Saints should start Jameis Winston. But the Falcon fan in me says, Sean Payton, die on that hill with Taysom Hill. Die on that hill. I want you to start Taysom Hill because he is going to fail. As a Falcon fan, I want you to start Taysom Hill because you play right into defense's hands because they know he can't consistently throw the ball. All right, back to football guy. Jameis Winston is the best choice for this team. He got LASIK surgery, so he can see now. You know, that was part of his issue in Tampa. He couldn't see, so he can see now. So that's probably why, he looks a lot more accurate now. And he's their best chance of winning. He's a legitimate quarterback, won a national championship, was a top pick. He's got the talent. Taysom Hill doesn't have the talent that Jameis Winston does at the quarterback position, and it's very clear. So, Sean Payton, die on that hill. You're going to die on that hill, and you're just going to put more pressure on your own job because you already got other problems. You got Lattimore, who knows what's going to happen with the situation that he had off the field, and you got, Crikel Thomas, a.k.a. Slant King, a.k.a. the new AB. Like, he's got issues. So that quarterback competition ain't a competition. That's Jameis's job. In San Francisco, I agree with Firestarter. Trey Lance should sit. He's raw. We can see it from, his play here in the preseason. He's very raw, because he only played, that one game or whatever. He's very, very raw. So he needs to sit. But Jimmy Garoppolo's health is going to give Trey Lance a chance to play this year. Book it.
Yeah, man. I'm going with Jameis Winston I'm going with Jameis Winston as the starter. I just think he's been more experienced. He's been more polished. I know that Taysom Hill played a couple nice games. I think he went 3-1 as a starter when Breeze was out. I mean, that is, decent, but, now you're playing a full season as a starter.
They beat the Broncos one of those games, and the Broncos didn't have a quarterback. The Broncos had a guy who was working at Rent-A-Center playing quarterback.
Man, look at you. You got to have that negative energy. I'm trying to let these Saints fans don't feel so bad if Taysom Hill is going to be your starter. I feel like he's not. So I'm just giving you, some goods, things to look upon from what we've seen last season. But like I said,
King of the Hill has more credibility than Taysom Hill.
Okay, all right. So, like I said, Jameis Winston, I feel like he is going to be, the starter. He's been pretty decent in the preseason. I think Sean Payton got to go with that right pick, man. And I'm pretty sure a lot of Saints fans wants Jameis Winston to be the starter. So, I hope he does, man. And I wish the Saints the best of luck this season, man, because they got a tough schedule. Their first game is against the Green Bay Packers, so best of luck.
They get their boots smoked, by the way. Hold on. Matter of fact, Keo, it just hit me. This is how it's going to end. It's going to be Jameis Winston hits Alvin Kamara for a touchdown. The final score, 42-7.
Wow.
Yo, it's not even gonna be close, bro.
Okay. Like I said, they got a lot of issues with Marshawn Lattimore, with Michael Thomas. Also, you got your tight ends. Both of your tight ends are injured, so it's like, what are you guys gonna do? You're gonna rely on Alvin Kamara throughout the whole season? That's what it looks like. And then as far as the 49ers, man, don't start Trey Lance, man. You're throwing this guy in the wolves, man, and it's different, man. You look at what Trey Lance has done in college. He has never met any decent competition when it came to college. Now you're transitioning to the pro level, the regular season, when you get these starters and defensive coordinators planning against you. Defensive coordinators, they feed off of these rookies, man. Like these rookie quarterbacks, if they start them, they're gonna set this guy up for failure, man.
You saw Justin Fields was like, "Oh yeah, it's not that fast," and what happened the next week?
So I really hope that they don't. I feel like Trey Lance is not ready yet. Go with Jimmy Garoppolo, man. You kept this guy for a reason. I mean, you have somewhat been successful with Jimmy Garoppolo since he's been there. So go with Jimmy Garoppolo, man. So I think they should go with Jimmy Garoppolo and just let Trey Lance learn the game, study the game, be behind Jimmy Garoppolo. And
so this guy Quentin says read option teams to death. Okay, go ahead and run the read option and watch you go 2-15.
I don't know. I don't know if you know that about Q. Q's actually a Niners fan. So, and he actually thinks the Niners are gonna finish second in the NFC West.
What? Yo, who do you think Jimmy Garoppolo is? Lamar Jackson? Like what? Read option teams to devil. Okay, all right. He'll be sitting by week 5. He's sitting on the bench.
All right, guys. So this actually
yes, Quentin. The Ravens do it because Lamar Jackson is a dynamic athlete. Jimmy Garoppolo isn't.
Keo, hold on a second, real quick. Jimmy Garoppolo definitely will be able to read his options. Which Gatorade do you want? The grape or lemonade? Which one you want to pour? Which one you want to pour on the bench? We got to pay you for something.
Oh, now you clouded. All right. Let's wrap up today's show and let's go to our shout outs. So let's start off with Dre.
I can't believe that this show just went by that fast. I was having so much fun. I'm gonna be honest with you. Sports Block, my brother. Yo, listen, the fire starter, he likes to have fun on shows. I love to have fun and talk sports in a positive manner. So don't take nothing that I said. Don't take it personal. I know you would be like, yo, this man was trying to troll me after the show. Nah, I really wasn't. It's just having fun, this, that, and the third, man. And I hope we can collaborate and actually come together even more and do more shows. Because, man, I swear, these type of shows, I appreciate. I love these type of shows. No BS shows, positive shows. I do a lot of them. Keo does a lot of them. It's good to meet you. I'm sure you do a lot of them, so you know how it feels. So it went by quick. I'd like to have a whole lot of fun. With that being said, shout out to the Rise Up family. Shout out to Challenger Community News. Shout out to my guy Kellen Lane for the culture, man. We missing you down here for real on some real G. We missing you down here, man. For the culture, man. This right here is for the culture. Also, shout out to Nbs for letting me on and having a good old time, man, with y'all. So those are my shout outs. Thank you.
Go ahead, Marlon. Give your shout out.
Hey, you know what NBS stands for, right? It stands for nothing but slander.
Wow, come on, man.
I thought it. Yo, I told him no BS, no BS.
But yeah, shout out to everybody listening. You got seemed like some really good guys in the chat room. They like to sling the mud back and forth. And I'm probably one of the lone military guys that Keo them knows. If anybody out there who has military family members and friends who are in Afghanistan, I'm definitely praying for them. Tomorrow is my last day on active duty, and I'm retired. So I'll have more time to slander and sling mud at everybody and troll people because I got time. But appreciate you, Keo, for letting me come on tonight. Shout out to the sports junkie who tried to sneak in and out of the chat room, But everybody have a good night.
Yo, man, shout out to Dre, shout out to the whole Rise Up family. RIP to my guy, man, Kellen Lane, man. And shout out to Marlon, man. I haven't seen you in a while, but it's good to have you back on these sport talk shows, man. So definitely welcome anytime. And congratulations on your retirement, man. Now you could do.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with that being said, man, this is the Nbs Show, episode 111. I'll definitely be back on here next week, and I'll definitely have Dre on. Hopefully, I get Marlon on, and whenever Justin decides to come on.
And Keo, real quick, they lying about Dak injury.
Oh God,
Fire starter. They lying about Dak injury.
Yeah, bro, you took the words right out of my mouth.
I'm finna tell you why they lying about his injury. Because who's on Hard Knocks? Jerry Jones took this opportunity to totally hijack sports media cycle. That's what he's done. He's hijacked the media cycle. I'm on Hard Knocks. All right, let's throw out an injury. Can't nobody confirm it because of HIPAA laws. So let's just throw something out there. They're going to talk about it. This is Jerry Jones's ego all day, every day.
All right, guys, it's time to wrap up the show. We could talk about this next week. With that being said, this is the Nbs Show, and we are officially